I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I didn't like Beetlejuice, and I'm kind of sad about it. I know that I have a reputation a little bit on the set for having like a small one-sided beef with Tim Burton, and I see where you're coming from. It's not entirely untrue, but I love his older work so much. One of the reasons why I have such strong feelings about Tim Burton's modern filmography is because his older filmography was so impactful and important to me. Like, yes, I love the original Beetlejuice. I love Edward Scissorhands, Sleepy Hollow, Big Fish. I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You know, like there's so much there that I truly love, and I've never been able to reconcile like the very blatant changes in his later work. And unfortunately, Beetlejuice falls into the latter camp of quality, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing. A lot of Tim Burton's later works have been popular. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have fun with this movie, and there's a lot that I appreciate about it, like the commitment to practical effects. Some of the visuals and the gags were genuinely fun. The cast is also amazing, both returning and new, even though, in my opinion, there's way too many of them. There's way too much and too many people and too many B-plots and side characters shoehorned into this movie that just take valuable time away from the emotional storytelling element that I think is really important and integral to a lot of Tim Burton's earlier works. Like, one of the reasons why I like the original Beetlejuice so much is because Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's characters are very obviously like very realistic, grounded, newly dead people that are just like normal humans that are adjusting to the weird world of the undead, or the dead, I guess. And in this movie, Jenna Ortega's character kind of has that role, but she's in the movie shockingly little. And I do think that her subplot in the film has the most potential, is the most interesting. And I would have liked to see a movie that focused around her as a central focal character and explored that story in more depth, and also her relationship with her mother and her grandmother, because that's the other thing. We get real caricatures of who these characters are supposed to be. I don't really understand how Lydia Dietz ended up here based on who she was, but also they did one of the things I hate the most, which she has the exact same styling as she did when she was 14 as when she's 50. And I get keeping the aesthetic, but down to the exact same hairdo, I just think is very like cartoon character energy, which I don't love. Catherine O'Hara also wonderful in this, but it feels like it was giving more Moira Rose than a tribute to the actual character she played in the original Beetlejuice, which I understand, capitalizing on what's popular. Everybody seemed to be having a good time in this movie, which is great. Even the characters, like Willem Dafoe's wonderful and Monica Bellucci's wonderful, but I don't know why they were thrown into this, honestly, because it just felt like it was taking up time. Like, this film has a really weird relationship with grief. There's a lot of grief written into the story, into the text, but none of it is portrayed in any kind of meaningful or actually like emotionally honest way. It's all played for laughs. There are huge character beats and things that happen that are essentially a quick scene, and then it's never addressed again, certainly not with any kind of emotional weight behind it. Ultimately, it just feels to me like this film came off as much more in the fan servicey nostalgia bait department than the meaningful tribute and trying to genuinely meaningfully add to a legacy kind of situation. So it didn't work for me, but I am genuinely thrilled for the people who are going to love it. And this cast is amazing, and I could listen to Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega talk about their deep and passionate love of movies all day long, and Catherine O'Hara just being wonderful, and Michael Keaton having a blast. Like, everyone in this cast is amazing. So, yeah, I wish I liked it more.